Hello friends, my name is Martin. I'm one of the pastors at Oak Park Church of Christ. It's good to be with you again. As you can see, I've climbed a tree to bring you the thought for today because I wanted to talk to you today about a fellow in the Bible who also climbed a tree. That's right, I'm talking about Zacchaeus from Luke chapter 19. When Zacchaeus heard that Jesus was coming through his hometown of Jericho, curiosity got the better of him and he just had to see this person he'd heard so much about. But for Zacchaeus, seeing Jesus turned out to be not so easy. Firstly, Zacchaeus was short in stature and had trouble seeing through the crowd. And secondly, his heart had become hardened through the years of rejection by his own people and the trappings of his great wealth, to the point that it had become numb to spiritual things. However, with something new stirring in his heart, Zacchaeus was moved to find a way to overcome the first of these obstacles by running ahead and climbing a tree. I'm not sure how much Zacchaeus had thought this through, but being up a tree made him very visible, not so much to the crowd who had their backs to him, but to Jesus as he walked along the road adjacent to the tree, which meant that his choice to do something radical put Jesus in a position where he could not only see Jesus clearly, but also be seen by Jesus. And here is the turning point, not just in the story, but more importantly, in Zacchaeus' life. Because Jesus didn't just see Zacchaeus with his eyes, but with his heart also. For Jesus knew him by name, and unlike anyone else in the crowd that day, saw his inherent worth, reinforcing Zacchaeus' worth by affirming his identity with the words, "This man too is a son of Abraham, and therefore one belonging to God." The outcome for Zacchaeus that day was that Jesus had come into his home and turned his life around, saving him and transforming him into a joyful and generous man. Now, there are many things that can hinder us from seeing Jesus, aren't there? For Zacchaeus, it was a crowd of people along with the crowd of material things his wealth afforded him that blocked his view. But perhaps for you, it's another kind of crowd, such as the crowd of screens around you, your phone, tablet, computer, and TV. Or maybe it's the crowd of choices at your fingertips on those screens. Netflix, Prime, Crave, YouTube, to name a few. Or the crowd of balls you are trying to keep in the air right now with work, homeschooling your kids, preparing meals, and on and on. Or perhaps you just feel crowded in these days by worries and cares. All things that can potentially keep us from seeing Jesus and cause us to lose sight of our true identity in Christ. If this is happening to you, perhaps it's time for you to follow Zacchaeus' lead and do something radical. Something safe and responsible, of course. Perhaps not like me climbing a tree, but something that places you above whatever it is that is crowding your life, where you can see Jesus more clearly. Thank you for joining me today, and may the God of peace fill you with renewed joy.